Okay, good evening, everybody. I am Simone Tritini. I am a software developer of Europe Research, in particular the Center of Sensing Solution. Just a brief introduction of myself and in particular the center where I work. Our center is one of the topics of our center is to manage the entire data life cycles. So we are specialized in the data management. In particular, we manage the data starting from the acquisition till starting from the acquisition, for example, the satellites data, devices, sensors, also drones, and then we pass through all the phases of the data management in the organization of the data acquired, the processing, and then we also analyze it in order to produce some results. In particular, we also support researchers in analyzing and processing the data. After the three main phases, organization, processing, and analysis, we also provide the support to share the data, the results of this data, and then eventually the last part of the data life cycle is really important and also interesting, is the acting part. So imagine this this is the output that could be also an input for starting another life cycle. Could be for example, if I get the temperature, the humidity of a field, and if the weather forecasts are sunny for days, for months, and after some acquisition and some analysis, we found that the field is too dry. After this processing, the result is the acting part is start to irrigate the field, for example. So the result is the output. The output is field too dry, and the input is start irrigation, and then maybe start another acquisition of the data. So this is more or less the one of our main goals in the Center for Sensing Solution, and I, as a software developer, I support my researchers and also my colleagues in organize the infrastructure and the support and create, develop application and other service. So for today, I am here to show you a useful tool that we introduced some years ago. Is the NodeRed tool. Is a tool based on a flow that use the flow-based programming. This flow-based programming is a programming technique invented in the 70s by a computer scientist, John Paul Morrison, and is a really simple technique. He said it is based on the construction of flows, on a flow composed by several nodes, in particular black box nodes component, and the idea is to pass messages from a component to another. So the idea is to have this black box that do something with the data, with the message, and goes ahead through the flow till the goal that the programmer decided to do. One of the main goals of NodeRed is to link a lot of services, hardware. The idea is that this is a bridge from the heterogeneous data and the storage, but not only the storage, but services in general. It was developed by IBM in 2013, and it is a web-based tool. So not only, but we use the web-based version. I will show you a short timeline. As I said, the flow-based programming that is the core of NodeRed is born in 1970s. Then the NodeRed was born in 2013, and in 2019 it becomes part of the OpenJS Foundation. It is open source till the beginning, but in 2019 it becomes OpenJS Foundation. Okay. Why we decided to use NodeRed, I already said something. So we have a lot of data sources. In our, we manage a lot of data sources. So we need sometimes to bring data from different data, heterogeneous data, process together, and then store the results in a unique point, or produce output that goes in another way, for other purposes. So we decided to use NodeRed because we have a lot of heterogeneous data, because we have to organize maybe some processes for IoT devices that we use for monitoring. Monitoring, for example, or field or agriculture. And then I found really useful, we found really useful to use NodeRed for prototyping, or to create very fast tests like API, web application. Maybe we have to do a proof of concept for a project, and instead to have not only a mock-up, but we can produce a short demo, but not only a simple demo, but something that works, that really works. And with NodeRed it's possible to do something in a quite fast way. I want to underline why I say that we have heterogeneous data and we have a lot of data. This is the environmental data platform. That is a platform, an infrastructure that we developed during the last years in the URAC. And in particular, we have in the green area, you see a lot of data storages, data repository that we have to manage, to maintain, but we have also to we have to be able to use in a useful way for the researcher. So the idea we introduced NodeRed because we saw that with a lot of data repository, it is possible to started to improve a little bit the quality of the storage, the analysis, the processing, and also it is possible not only to manage what we have, but also to get more from outside and from other sources that are external from EURAC. Okay, the last theory thing before starting with the example is just a curiosity. NodeRed is a play of words. So the idea is of the developer, of the inventors, is to use CodeRed, to use the name CodeRed and NodeRed. NodeRed because it's based on Node.js, and they with these two words. And the red, they say that is a rapid event developer, but they are not still sure. So they keep red, but they have not decided yet why red is the name. So now I will show you 4 examples of our, for example, of our implementations. The first thing is very simple. So I will show you very simple example. Maybe too simple, but it's just to show you. This is the first one, is a test. This is no more working now, because I use it like I said before, only for testing to do a proof of concept for an older project that we did some months ago. So we needed to create a platform to upload a lot of files, to also start a series of processing and organization after the upload of the file. And in order to produce something for the meetings, for the organizational meeting of the project, I created this flow where with a very simple web page represented with this node, the user can go and upload a file and organize it with the function node that you see in orange. And then the last part of the flow is simple, part of the is a component that no, is this one is the component that allows to do the FTP upload on another server after the pre-processing phase of these two nodes. So this is very simple example of how that node can where you can see that NodeRed can manage files, for example. Then I will show you other example where we use the NodeRed not only with files, but with simple data coming from API or MQTT connection. This is another example. The second example is a very nice example. In this project, we collect a lot of data with sensors, sensor put on bikes that goes in the city, and we harvesting data using the LoRa network that comes from the LoRa network grab data coming from the sensor put on the bicycle, and then we created a very an API, an API in NodeRed in order to allow that the network server that grab the information from the LoRa network, that so from the network server we are able to push to put to save the information in Postgres directly using NodeRed and the API that I developed in the NodeRed. Now I show you in a better way. So this is the flow. I created the endpoint in NodeRed with this node. This is the function that parse the JSON coming from the network server, and it is written in JavaScript. I underline this because not only JavaScript, this is all developed in Node.js, so JavaScript is the main programming language behind this tool and that you can use, but it is possible also to use other programming languages. Then I create in this case, two query after the parsing of the packet coming from the network server, and the blue node is the node that is the connection with the Postgres database, and then I have another function to get the response for the HTTP API. So this is the API that this is the red part of this flow. We get the data from the sensor, we collect using LoRaWAN, the network server send to the API send to the Postgres database. I know that Postgres has its own Postgres API that is maybe better, but for this prototype, we decided to use this instead to build the other part. The third example is similar to the previous one. Is another API. In this case, I use the interesting part of this is that the function module is written in Python and not no more in Java. because I reuse an old piece of code that I had for another project, and I didn't want to rewrite again in JavaScript. And yes, and in this case, I use this function to push directly to another database. In this case, it's Influx database. The data coming from the weather station that now is on the roof of A2 building. The last example is maybe one of the most interesting, because in this case we use NodeRed with one of its most important component, that is the MQTT part. That is the MQTT part. In this project, Receptic project, the idea is to track. Is a tool tracking system. We put a beacon on a tool, and the idea is to understand where exactly is the beacon, in order to not lose it, or to find if someone lost or bring. So we have a series of gateways that harvest, that scan the area using Bluetooth, and check which beacon are in the area. And if beacon is in the area, the gateway send an in, or otherwise, if the beacon is go out, send an out. The in and out are sent using MQTT message, and the MQTT broker that we have in our infrastructure send the information to NodeRed. And in this case, NodeRed is one of the main components of this flow, because it collects the information from broker, from the old information from the database, combine them, make a sort of analysis in order to analyze the situation of the entire system of all the gateways that we installed, and the output that are published using always an MQTT message. So they are published the list, a sort of series of lists useful for the gateways, in order to understand which is the entire situation of the system, where a tool is or another one is missing or not, and so on. And the last part is the storage part. It's very common. Okay, so just in conclusion, this is our experience, my experience. I can say that is a useful tool. Is the logic behind is easily to understand, in particular for programmers. Is not only visual programming, because it is important also to write a lot of code in order to optimize and custom the flow for our needs. And we found really useful for developing API and fast prototyping, as I said before, for example, developing very short, very simple web application, also demo, but not only, we develop it for also for big system like the Receptic that I showed you in the slide before. So it's very useful and adaptable in different fields, in different fields. Then there is it has a lot of extensions that are very useful. So it is possible. For example, the Python function that you saw before is not the default extension of the NodeRed, but I had to install it, and it worked very well. And there is also the integration with PID that I use, and it's really useful. So thank you very much, and that's it. If you have any questions. Thank you.
you, Simone, for the presentation. So now it's the publicum turn for the questions or any comments. I see also a lot of new faces, so I would suggest just a short presentation round before starting with the questions, like saying your name, your company, and 2-3 words about that describes you. For example, I'm Stefano Seppi, NodeRed Park, I'm working at the Tech Transfer Digital, and I'm interested in open data, IoT, and so that's all.
Hi everyone, my name is Jarno from firma Alpin. My work is to digitalize document, but in my free time I'm a do-it-yourselfer with home automation, and that's why I was interested in the topic NodeRed, because it's integrated into Home Assistant natively. So on to you.
Hi, I'm Felix. I'm 23 years old. I work at Bigum, which is here in the other building. I'm a software developer. I mostly work with JavaScript, React, PHP. And I was interested in this topic because recently I worked with an API which was published by Cisco, the Cisco Meraki API. I don't know if anyone knows it, but one version of it was created with NodeRed, so I was interested in that.
Okay. Hi, I'm Roman, and I'm same company as Felix. I'm the CTO from Bigum iWorkix. iWorkix is the product package of the suite, and we have monitoring solutions and data and log management solutions. And so we have a lot of data to grab from different sources, and I'm interested always to learn new techniques to get them. And so NodeRed is one of them. Okay.
Hi, my name is Tanya. In my main work, I'm head of recruitment of Schweizer. I don't know if anyone knows that company. And I'm a consultant for data sellers. Maybe that's more interested for you. Yeah, and I'm only interested in this topic. I'm not really geek or nerd, but I'm always interested into your good presentations and to drink a good beer, and to know nice people.
Hello, good evening. I'm Roberto. I'm a colleague of Simone. And what I can say is that since this NodeRed technology has been introduced, all the quality of our project has been improved really a lot, make our lives easier. So thank you to thank Simone, and I was really happy to see your presentation.
Good evening. I'm also from the Center Processing Solution. Basically, I'm a researcher, and I'm the only one that sends the data to Simone that I have to manage with NodeRed and say, why are you sending this way? I have people to manage it. So, yes, I am. And I was here because the other part was interesting to understand also what happened after the data are produced. And Simone.
Hello everybody, I'm Simone Alba. I'm working also in the Tech Transfer Digital unit with Stefano as software architect, and my main activities are the mobility side of the data hub, and so I mainly code in Java, and yeah, that's it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Ilaria Russo. I'm a business informatics student at the University of Bolzano. And I'm also working for the new data browser here with the NodeRed Park. And, yeah.
Hi everyone, I am Andrea Sisti, CTO of Servizi ST 7 di Bolzano. We are an IT company for IT services in local transportation systems. Currently, I develop two projects on Node.js and NodeRed, one for telemetry over the train of Valle Nostra to check for predictive maintenance, and other is a maintenance project for ticket vending machine over the Alto Adige. So I think that there is a very big opportunity on NodeRed and Node.js.
Good evening, I'm Christian. I work at Servizi ST and I'm working as a software developer. Just a few hours ago, I didn't know anything about Node.js or NodeRed. So, but my colleagues, they told me, okay, it's a funny tool, so you should learn about it. And so I'm here. Thank you.
Hello everybody, I'm Masoud. I work in Services IT as a system engineer / software developer. And in fact, I love this tool because of one of my passions is data analysis. And I'm also interested in cybersecurity. That's all. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Chaba. I work Service ST. I'm not a developer, just for fun.
I am Andrea Ganello, another colleague of Simone. I work with data organization, data sharing, and in general I consume the knowledge of Simone in NodeRed to automatize the processes, and I consider it is very useful.
Hello everyone, I'm Raham, colleague from Simone. I'm on the other side of the applications. I'm a hardware developer. I'm mainly developing instrumented solutions for fine applications.
Hello everybody. I work for Town. We have an office here. We have an application for companies, and this is a proprietary application, and everything that has to do with data that can foster our application I'm interested in, and I come and see what is new, what is was very interesting. Then a question, as I am the last one, can it be used for proprietary data? We use company's data. It is possible. Okay, thank you.
Yes, it is possible.
So I'm the last one. My name is Patrick Uneva, and I work for Neutech Park in the unit digital with my colleagues, and we are developing the Open Data Hub. And actually, I think it was 2012 when we had a student which did a thesis using NodeRed and trying to convince us that we should migrate everything to NodeRed. We didn't, but maybe we should consider it again. So I'm happy to see that the project is still so active, but it's an IBM-backed project, so it's not so small, but I'm very curious to see.
Now it's more mature rispetto.
Sorry?
È più maturo rispetto al 2000.
It's more mature, yes. Okay. But it's great to see that there is a community. Is there a community in South Tyrol you know about, or is there some? I know there is an R community in. I think it's Oracle-based, driven mainly. No, the R developers. Are there also NodeRed developers in the region, or?
I don't know.
Yeah. I don't know. maybe Servizi SAT wants to to create a community of who is using NodeRed together with others.
Maybe possible. It's an interesting project. So there is a lot of modules published on NodeRed site that is made everything at the moment. So I think it's the right moment to try to make project with NodeRed. It's really easy, but powerful. And for IoT, I think it's the right way to collect data and to share data over other projects.
Just an idea I had now. We have here at the NodeTech Park a kind of training program. No, it's called Level Up. You know about it. So you are not based in the NodeTech Park, so you don't know. But I think we could also think about if all the people here wants to think about training sessions about the topic like NodeRed, we could propose NodeRed as a training session. So we start up to build the community around this technology. So this could be an idea. We could maybe in the next days exchange and make this proposal. So this could be. Okay.
For me, it's very
cool. Thank you.
Someone else who wants to share or post a question?
I will for sure not ask any question because I already say it's not right. Was really as soon as we started to work mainly with Simone, NodeRed changed our way to work, and this is really the life of software developing became simple, not more simpler. The idea of setting up a community, or even the idea of setting up, so I'm really happy to see that there are different companies that are already working with Node.js, but NodeRed is a specific tool, but this specific tool is also, as explained by Simone, easy to use in order to test something, to make a proof of concept, but it's also robust, powerful, and reliable to make really also things working. Because, for example, the Receptic project is a pre-market, pre-industrialization project. It's really, there are 7, 8. So, and understanding that you are doing projects with NodeRed for real world is not just a tool for testing, but it's really a tool that works stable, that is open source. And this is really the great thing.
We have an integration with Telegram, and
Super,
and our
exactly.
support team can receive alarm on Telegram based on NodeRed, and so can resolve issues on the
Predictive
machine.
maintenance and this kind. No, and indeed, is also the monitoring control of workflow. And also the conceptualization is really easy because with this programming of the logic that you set up any node has specific functionalities. It's also for dummies like I am.
So, it's easy to develop, but it's easy also to understand from the other people how the flow goes on and what they do on the flow. So for anyone that can, for developer that have to resolve some issues on the flow or other, and can visualize as the message passed over the node, so it's easier to understand how the flow goes on.
Now I'm curious because I've heard a lot of good things for Node.js, but NodeRed, yes, based on Node.js. But I'm curious to know if you experienced also some issues or problems or limits that Node.js has in the research world or in the company world.
I don't know if there is the same. I noticed that in your slide you have a click lock authentication tool, and NodeRed has the problems that it's not multi-user interface. So this is maybe a problem to develop on the same project with many people, because there is no it's difficult to explain, but you have an interface and you put on the nodes, but if someone else make changes, you have an alert, and then you have to review the code. Maybe some have Git, but it's more easy and simple. And so if someone change your project, it's difficult to debugging. This is for me the big issues of NodeRed.
Okay, now we had the company point of view. Let's see the research point of view.
Yes, also for us it's more or less the same problem. Up to now we don't have this problem because I am the only one that works on NodeRed. But yes, it is possible to create more than one user, but it is not possible to work on the same flow from different users. So the problem that you said is exactly the same.
But you have the Git integration, and then you can.
Yes, we have to always to upload the Git and update the Git, and then.
It's a good work.
Yes, it's a good work.